Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Seth, clinical psychologist, Dr. Seth Meyers, and I'm going to talk in this video about infidelity. Specifically, I'm going to talk about 7 possible reasons for infidelity, why a person may cheat on their partner. But before I do that, I just want to make a note that there is never an excuse to cheat. And it's important to remember that as you hear about these different reasons. One of the first reasons why sometimes people cheat has to do with anger or seeking revenge. They may be angry about something that happened in the relationship or a series of things that happened in the relationship, and they may act out in their anger to take it out on the other person and exact revenge in this way. The thinking is, well, they hurt me, so I will hurt them. I know this will hurt them too. Anger or seeking revenge is often a reason for infidelity. Another reason why some people cheat is very obvious: commitment issues. Some people simply have a difficult time committing to another person, committing physically, committing emotionally to another person, and being in a monogamous sexual relationship. A lot of times people will get married and agree to a contract where they will be monogamous. Well, they think that sounded great in theory. And then a lot of times, once they get in the relationship, they realize they don't want to commit or they feel like they simply can't commit. Commitment issues are really, really common reasons for cheating. And a lot of times, if someone has a difficulty committing in this relationship, guess what? You guessed it. They have often had difficulty committing in other relationships before that. The next reason why a lot of times people cheat is a not so obvious reason. This is a more hidden reason, and it has to do with unmet needs. Now, the unmet needs could be for a lot of different things, but if a person is unhappy and they feel deep down that this relationship isn't meeting certain needs that are important to them, they will often tell themselves, well, I need to go get those needs met outside of the relationship. They could be physical needs. Perhaps they feel that they're not getting their sexual needs met, or they could be certain emotional needs that they are not getting. Maybe they don't feel listened to. Maybe they don't feel respected in the relationship. There may be certain emotional needs that are going unmet. And so they tell themselves, you know what? They give themselves permission to cheat. Another reason why a lot of times people cheat is one that maybe people don't think a lot about as a reason for infidelity, but that has to do with low self esteem. If a person doesn't feel good about themselves, doesn't have a strong sense of self, know who they are, have a strong sense of what they believe in, what their strengths are, what's attractive about them, they may look to the outside world and specifically sometimes to other specific people to make them feel better, to make them feel attractive, to make them feel desirable, to, in that moment, increase their self esteem. So, low self esteem is a really common and serious reason why sometimes people cheat. Another reason that I want to talk about is one that is extremely important, and that has to do with an extreme need for attention. If you think about the whole cross section of people, adults, people have different levels of attention that they need from others. Some people need a little, some people need an average amount, and then some need an extreme amount of attention. People who need an extreme amount of attention may be more likely to cheat because in those moments when they are cheating, they feel that they are getting a rush, a flood of attention. And imagine their central nervous system as lights. These are bright, shining, blinking lights. This is how attention operates for those people who need an extreme amount of attention. It just lights them up. It makes them feel almost as if they are getting a hit of a drug. If someone has that kind of a need for attention, they may be more at risk of looking to others to give them that dose of attention that they need. And people who need attention, it is often bottomless. It is never enough attention that they can get. I want to talk about just two more reasons why a person may be unfaithful. And the next one has to do with a just general style of being deceptive or lying. If a person is dishonest about different types of things over a period of time in a relationship, they may be more likely to be deceptive and dishonest and lie about their sexual behavior. In other words, they may be more likely to cheat. Why? Because they have found a way to justify their behavior. In some cases, they don't even think twice about it. They just give themselves that get out of jail free card. They tell themselves that they are entitled to it. They may tell themselves that their partner is just lucky to be with them, the amount of time they get to be with them, and they give themselves this permission to be sexual with others. And finally, the last possible reason that I'm going to talk about why someone may be unfaithful has to do with addiction issues. Now, the addiction issues could be varied. The individual may cheat, be unfaithful because of an underlying sex addiction, or they may have sexually addictive behavior. They are engaging in sexual behavior that is dangerous, that is extremely risky in many different ways. That often has an addictive quality to it. There also may be addictive behavior when it comes to alcohol or drug use. If someone is abusing alcohol or drugs, they may be far more likely to engage in cheating behavior while they are under the influence because they can tell themselves, well, that wasn't me. That wasn't the real me. That was just the alcohol or the drugs. So, underlying addiction issues are often another reason why someone may be unfaithful. Before we stop today, I just want to remind everybody what I shared in the beginning because the point is extremely important. None of these reasons excuses infidelity. There is no good reason to cheat. Cheating at root is selfish, self-centered behavior that can be incredibly hurtful behavior. You can check out other videos that I've done on this topic and others on my YouTube channel here. I'm Dr. Seth, clinical psychologist, and I sure hope that this has been helpful.